low-value men.
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. If you can believe that, you can believe that, you can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whisper star, low value mail, low value mail at 9 o'clock, where truth and fiction take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Welcome back, everybody, to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this Monday, April 6th, 2026, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I see people in the chat saying, is this live? Yes, this is live. And we have much to discuss today on a historic day for the United States. We're going to talk about aliens. I feel like I haven't talked about aliens in a minute. We're going to talk about Iran briefly. I feel like I think we have a bit of a fatigue, an Iran fatigue, if you will. And Artemis II. I don't know if any of you are up to stuff. Also, happy Easter, everybody, to those who celebrate. Absolutely legendary images coming out of the White House today. Donald Trump next to the Easter Bunny, threatening to just kill everybody in Iran. So, just as Jesus intended. That's my interpretation of things, personally. But anyways, let's get to it. As always, there's a new phone number. If you're new to this show, doesn't matter to you. We used to have an 800 number. Now we have a new number. It's 1-347-391-6995. Also, if you are a Patreon member or a YouTube channel subscriber member, there's a priority number. Lets you cut the line. And there's a Canadian local number. There's a U.S. local number. I still haven't figured out the UK one. I've been trying. Zoom is just being a massive pain in my ass. I don't know why it's such an issue. I mean, I'm paying for it. I'm certainly paying for it, but they won't give me the UK number. As I said last week, I gave them an address of a Domino's Pizza in Carlisle, wherever the hell that is, and they won't accept it. I don't know what's going on. They are accepting it, but I'm rambling. Let's get to it. Okay, let's talk about aliens. We haven't talked about aliens in a minute. Talking about a lot of politics and stuff, and not enough aliens. And since we haven't, the war stuff is getting kind of boring, I think, to people. I mean, you can't. What are we talking about? Like, unless something fun happens. I mean, there was that extraction on the weekend of a downed service member. That was pretty exciting. I don't really know what to say about that other than pretty badass. But you just can't talk about the war every week. Last week, however, former Congressman Matt Gaetz was on the Benny Johnson show. And he said this, and I have clips.
I think the most important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered. And like even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Non-human biologics, interracial alien mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
Yeah, I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted, with the United States Army came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened.
Pretty fascinating stuff. Wouldn't you agree? Non-human biologics and hybrid breeding programs. The U.S. government, apparently, according to Matt Gaetz and this whistleblower, has living aliens they've captured and are forcing them to breed with people abducted from war zones and illegal migrants. Now, assuming some rules of biology, just basic biology, remain true, which they might not, I have no idea, but I'd assume for the aliens, these are mostly female aliens, just because they're bad at driving, am I right? Mating with human men who were abducted from war zones and migrant caravans to create some sort of hybrid alien human that you would have to imagine they're just keeping in like a cage somewhere, like, 10 layers below the Earth's surface. They have some kind of compound where they're doing all this weird ass shit, which your taxpayer money, your taxes are going to be honest, tax day is coming up in 9 days. I don't hate it. If this is the kind of stuff they're spending my money on, I don't hate it. I don't totally hate it. I apologize for the sirens. The studio, for some reason, is like 80 degrees today. So I have to have the fucking windows open. I have to have the air conditioning running. Otherwise, it is just swampy in here. And I'm in Midtown New York. So that's what's going on. I guess that's one way to dissuade people from entering the country illegally, is you're going to get banged in the ass by a bunch of aliens. Something. You're literally going to get chained up and just railed by some big-ass alien hog. Really valid question, too, is if you get space sniz, can you ever go back to human sniz? I wonder. Can you ever make that jump? You're just like, I've had literal alien space sniz. Nothing touches it. Now, Matt Gaetz isn't necessarily the most reputable person, regardless of the fact that he was almost the Attorney General. Doesn't necessarily make you reputable, but, he's got some personal issues, I guess you could say. He is, at this point, just a podcaster. Welcome to the slums, my friend. And the name of the game for a lot of them, not I don't do this, but the name, we all know the name of the game for a lot of podcasters is just saying the most outrageous shit you can possibly say, making stuff up, lying just for attention on the internet. It's a way to live, I suppose. And you know what? It might get results. People might like that. I don't really do that, but people might like that. And when I saw this clip alone, I wasn't actually even going to cover this topic. I just saw that go, kooky Matt Gaetz. But then I see a different clip from current Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett commenting on Gaetz. Another clip.
I don't have the tinfoil hat on just yet, Congressman, but I'm wondering, kind of how you react to that, because you are connected. You're on the UFO subcommittee. I mean, I'm just wondering what you make of that. Have you heard anything like that?
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
Wait, seriously? Are you being serious, or is that tongue in cheek?
I'm being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. Well, I was brief. I'll just tell you this. I was brief last week on an issue, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers.
Now, I'm not really sure what to make of this. Burchett sits on actual national security committees. He's talking about this stuff pretty nonchalantly. I don't even know what was the source of this clip, some Newsmax or some shit. And look, everybody has kind of assumed the government is hiding this stuff. I think that's the assumption being made here. There's something different when, a sitting member of the government is coming out and saying we're just hiding all this shit. I can't sleep because of the stuff they keep telling me. They're literally breeding migrants with aliens somewhere in these United States. God knows what those things look like. I mean, I'm trying, really, what do you think they even look like? And you think they're tall or they're really small? Well, if they're like Mexican migrants, generally they're really small. So then if the aliens are really tall, then you'd have an average looking size person. But then you might get, if they're the really small aliens, and then you get like the Mexican migrants, you get tiny, like Central Americans. Oh man, these things will be 3 feet tall. And I'm still not expecting to get any real evidence unless the Iran war goes really, really bad and they need to distract us. And then they're like, we'll get something. We'll get a photo. But then everybody will say it's AI. I don't know. But they may be forced to give us something to distract us. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this just an op? Am I falling for an op here? Is the fact that I'm even covering this? This is a total op to distract us from more serious things? I don't know. Maybe Donald Trump was like, hey, old Timmy, do your pal Don a favor. Things are getting hot over in Iran. Can you start talking about secret breeding, alien breeding programs? The phone lines will be open soon. You can tell me. My feeling is they'll be talking about this shit for literally the remainder of my natural life, and we'll still end up with nothing. Poison1553 says, super chat, alien on alien experiments. I don't know. That's what they're saying. Poison1553 also says, could this be a quick distraction? Perhaps to stop us from asking the tiny hats why they have enriched uranium. You know why the Jews have enriched uranium. We all do. I have some personally. I literally have a little bit of my own enriched uranium. All right, I want to talk about this Artemis thing. I don't know if any of you I've been watching this. I don't know what you guys think about this. Congrats, by the way, if you're American. We went back to the moon, or we went to the moon for the first time. But it does seem like we went. I was literally just watching the YouTube live stream before I fired this thing up. It was pretty cool. I don't know if any of you were following the Artemis II mission. I don't know if I'm sure some of you think it's literally AI and it's just being done by some Hollywood studio and it's all fake. I don't know. I mean, I know what I think, but I tweeted at Artemis or NASA the other day saying they need to turn the live chat on because I turned on the stream. I was watching one of the streams from a couple days ago. I'm like, there's no live chat. Why would NASA disable the live chat? Probably because they're like, there'll be all these people who are like, this is fake, but that's what makes it fun. Turn it on. And they did, actually. At least on their approach to the moon, which was about half an hour ago. They were going to the dark side of the moon. They had the chat on. It was mostly people just spamming their country's flags for some reason. Which was funny because the astronaut gave this whole little speech right as they were about to sign off, lose contact with Earth. Because I guess there's no reception on the dark side of the moon. I have no idea. It goes right to the front of the moon, the light side. Once it gets around the other side, loses all reception for about 45 minutes. But But there are people spamming their country's flags. This guy's trying to give this talk about how, like, we're all just, I look down and it's just earth and, you need to, Jesus said, love your neighbor and all this stuff. And everybody was just like, my country is the best. Even though your country, some of these flags, I'm like, I've never even seen this shit. I don't even think you guys are the best at soccer. But there were definitely some skeptics in the live chat, which I thought was pretty funny. I kind of wish there were more. I'm sure there's some moon landing conspiracy theorists watching this right now. Well, I'm curious what your take is on all of this. Some of you watching, listening right now, does this change anything for you? If you had some doubt on the moon landing, whether the U.S. went to the moon previously, does this change anything? Because obviously you could say, that was fake, this is real. They're both fake, or they're both real. Those are, I guess, the three options. But let me know what you think. And they did give the conspiracy theorists, I should say. I don't know what the difference is. They gave a little ammo because right as they're approaching the dark side of the moon, they're like, "Yeah, we got to turn this off." And you're like, "What are you hiding back there? What are you hiding back? You want us to believe that you're like what? What are they? 50,000 miles from Earth? 500,000? Something crazy. And once you hit the moon, that's it. The front of the moon, you can send literally like 480p video, pretty decent quality. I mean, it's amazing that they're just live streaming this whole thing 24/7 on YouTube. But then you hit the dark side of the moon, you go, we have no service. We'll reconnect when we loop around. What are they hiding back there? I suppose if you think the moon is fake and space is also fake, which I'm sure there are some of you, then none of this impresses you at all. Even still, even if you're like, the moon is fake, space is fake, you should at least be impressed by the production. If you're like, this is all fake, they're doing this in a studio, you should at least say, like, the production's pretty good. But if you're not retarded, this shit is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, we're going to open the phone lines in, we'll just open them now. We'll open them now. Phone lines are open, 1-347-391-6995. If you're a patron or a YouTube channel member, there's an extra special number for you. Cut the line, all that stuff. I don't know where everybody is tonight. Normally, maybe people are, I had some weird YouTube thing. Some weird YouTube, like, stuff in the home screen. I don't know if that's related, because there was like 600,000 people watching the whole moon business. I'm going to talk about Iran really briefly. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Looks like there's a chance Trump's nuking them tomorrow, though, at 8 o'clock. So I highly recommend, if that happens, tune into the Bathhouse tomorrow at 9 p.m. We have at least 2 more episodes left. It might be an episode you don't want to miss. If Trump just fucking drops a nuke on Iran, that is going to be a nuclear episode of the Bathhouse, if I might say so myself. Trump seems to be getting increasingly unhinged. I don't know if it's just me. Am I the only one who's noticing that? Possibly by design. I'm willing to concede totally by design, and he just knows how to be a total wild card. Here are 2 recent posts of his on True Social. Post number 1. Remember when I gave, this is from a few days ago, 2 days ago. He says, remember when I gave Iran 10 days to make a deal or open up the Hormuz Strait? Time is running out. 48 hours before all hell will rain down on them. Glory be to God. President Donald J. Trump. Then followed that with Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. That one, when I saw it, not going to lie, because a lot of people post fake Truth Social posts. That one, I had to go double check if Trump was dropping a praise be to Allah. He did do that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He seems like he's very angry at how long this is taking. I think in his mind, because he's just a deal maker, right? That's his whole thing. He's a real estate guy. He's a deal maker. And I think in his mind, he's like, I know I'm getting the deal that I want for the most part. And the fact that you guys are making me wait when I'm getting what I want anyways is just pissing me off. He's like, you guys are going to do the deal. Just do it already. Everybody's mad at me. Just do the deal, please. And they're not. Iran's just telling them kind of, but like, you're just going to blow up all the bridges and all the power plants? And this is still not a war, technically? I will say, I still stand to my guns that this is not going to be some long, protracted thing. I mean, oil's at what, $113 a barrel right now. But if you look at like the November price of oil, the crude futures contracts, it's about $70. So the markets don't really think this is going to last too much longer. Definitely not going to have high oil prices for too long. But still, it's praise be to Allah. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. I wish all presidents talk like that. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines. Before I go to your calls, if you'd like to join the list of very important scrotes, a.k.a. the Scrote Wall of Fame that you see at the beginning of the show, sign up for the $10 tier here or on Patreon. If you're already a member, you can upgrade and you'll make it on the wall. As always, if you don't have any money, that's cool too. You can support the show. Just like the stream, share it with a friend, leave a comment. And if you listen or watch on Spotify, hit the follow button. And again, new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night, 9 p.m. We have at least 2 episodes left. Interesting thing, the last 2 episodes of The Bathhouse, the views have been higher. I don't know why. If that were to persist, if it were just increasingly going higher, then I would keep doing it. I don't need any of your money as long as that were happening. So, but if you want to guarantee that the show continues, you can join the Save the Bathhouse thing on YouTube. And this weekend, starting on a Thursday, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh. I'm going to be in Chicago Friday and Saturday. I'm going to be in Detroit Sunday doing stand-up. And I have all sorts of other dates. I just put on the books Atlanta in June, Cleveland in June. You might see Rubestar if you come out to that. Portland, Maine, also in June. And Tacoma, Spokane, bunch of other dates, Brooklyn, New York, East Providence, Rhode Island. Lots of other ones. You can go get tickets at DannyComedy.com. All right. That's it for me. Let's go to the phone lines. And we have Gerard, the man, answering your calls. Oh, speaking of answering calls. Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. A lot of stuff happening at the same time. Hello.
Hello.
Yo, what's up, buddy?
Danny.
Hey.
It's friggin' pronounced Spokane, not Spokane. You
I
and
said
Ryan make me
I said
insane.
Spokane. Did I say Spokane?
You said Spokane.
Oh, I know that it's
you both say it. It's so annoying. I'm from Alberta, and I even know this. It's really annoying.
Then that was I know most. If you go back and check the tape of all the times I've said it, I probably get it right more times than
you
not.
said Spokane. I guarantee it.
Okay,
I just listened to the boys cast today.
I believe you. Okay, well, that's weird because
okay,
I know it's Spokane.
Get that off my chest.
Yeah, I know. I know it. I see the comments. It bothers a lot of people. People who are not even from Spokane.
Myself, not from Spokane. The only cable TV we got until I was like 20 years old was from Spokane, Washington.
That
at the Prem Studios.
That makes sense.
Who's the boss? We got it from Spokane. That's all I know.
Oh, okay, fair enough. What's up?
So I thought you would like maybe a little update from a non-cuck that is in Alberta.
Yeah.
That doesn't say, oh, I don't think we're going to separate. I moved back to Alberta. I failed at everything else in life, and I came back to the only good place in Canada so I could make a living.
Sure.
So we last week, I'm sure you know, it was announced that we we have the numbers to have a referendum. There will be a referendum. It will be held on October 19th.
Crazy. I saw someone leave. Was that you who left a comment on my YouTube channel? I saw someone leave a comment on that today, or at least I saw the comment today. I didn't realize there was a date set for the referendum. That's fucking nuts.
The next big set of provincial elections is tentatively set just for October 19th, and any referendum we have would be paired up with any date like that as a cost-saving measure.
Right. So it'll be October 19th. Alberta could leave Canada, and I assume you're not.
Well, it'll probably be a couple of years before we actually get to leave.
Well, yeah, it'll be like Brexit style where it takes a little time. But so you're not a Remainer, I take it?
No, I'm sorry, I've given up on Canada. You can't vote your way out of this level of corruption. You can't.
And now, what makes you
we
think
separate
that,
or we start killing?
Yeah, what makes you? Yeah, we don't want that to happen. But what makes you think that under some new regime there won't be corruption? I mean, there's kind of always corruption.
The only thing that I can personally hope is that it's closer to your own backyard. It's very hard for me to drive to Ottawa, as you have seen, and to protest and actually make a difference. Mm-hmm. Whereas if presumably the capital would remain in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Which is, a one-day drive for anybody within Alberta.
Okay.
But that's if you're going to actually go to the point of I'm taking this into my hands with, God forbid, violence.
Yes, hopefully.
But that's one of the pluses.
And do you know
everything is right here?
Yeah. Do you know a lot of people who are sharing your opinions, who are going to vote with you?
Well, I'm actually a registered canvasser with Elections Alberta. Well, I'm not with Elections Alberta. The Elections Alberta has licensed me as a canvasser.
Okay.
And I've personally collected 167 signatures. I've done pop-ups for the last 6 weeks at about 3 hours at a time. And people come flocking to you.
160. Wait, you've done 18 hours. You're getting, I guess, 10 an hour. But where do you live? Do you live in a small town?
A small town-ish. Yeah.
Okay. Do you get people kind of coming up to you to shit talk you?
I've never had it. I've seen stories about people that have, but I'm 6'1" and 220 pounds. I think most people that are going to shit talk are cowards, and they just look at me and walk the other way. In my mind,
right? It was like a 75-year-old woman coming up to you. It's not even like some guy trying to threaten you. It's more like a grandma.
That's my only. That's just the only logic that I can have.
Yeah.
About it, I've never been shit talked.
Okay. And will Danielle Smith be the leader, the president of Alberta? Is that how this is going to work?
I'm not high enough in that organization to decide that. I can tell you that for the most part, as far as it's not even a proper party at this point, right? It's not a political party. It's a grassroots movement. Mm-hmm. But from what I've heard is like people that are higher up than me say, yes, we still support Danielle Smith and we still support, it's the UCP in Alberta.
Crazy.
I personally, for me personally, I don't believe a woman should ever be in power of anything. They're too wishy-washy.
Yeah.
But,
that's fine. It's fine for a start, just to kind of, get your bearings.
If I was going to sit around here and say, the people that are donating money to an Alberta sovereignty program aren't also donating to the CPC, I'd be lying to myself. They are.
Yeah. And now the people you talk with who are does everybody kind of think that, this will lead to becoming part of the U.S., or is it very much like, no, we're going to be a sovereign country, just our own thing, and we're not joining the United States?
Generally, from the circles that I've run in, almost nobody expresses a want to become a part of the U.S. Me personally, I would prefer to fall under the U.S. Sphere of influence and be the 51st state, but that's me, and I'm by far a minority.
That's weird because it seems like that's
I don't know what they think. I don't know what they think they're going to do.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen whether you guys want it or not.
It's the biggest economy in the world. The United States has states with bigger economies than Canada.
Yeah, of course.
We think we're going to fight back against that?
Yeah.
I don't see the point in fighting.
And
I would
the
love
military, even though Trump did actually kind of talk back the whole Canada 51st state thing. I think today or yesterday, he kind of was
I saw that in the news today. Yeah. Well, everyone knew I was a troll. Any adult knows that he was just trolling.
Yeah. I think in his mind, he was like, this would be great. But people are like, it's just not going to happen. I don't think he really quite understood. I think it was a troll for sure to some degree, but there was a part of him.
I think if they walked across the border and came and took it, I don't think you'd get a lot of pushback. But people are instinctually going to be like, I'm an independent. We can't have this.
Yeah. So most people don't want to join the states, even though that's probably what's going to happen.
Me personally, I think it's better better for everyone here.
No, I would
just opening the economy in the job market.
Yeah,
that I could have.
No, I would agree on that. Although you guys are going to have, I don't know what the makeup of the oil sands looks like demographically, but it's just going to get flooded with Mexicans if that were to happen.
That's fine as long as the investment comes with it, right?
I just mean it will probably push the wages down,
right?
It'll probably push the wages down. It'll flood.
Not for anyone that's good.
Yeah.
Not for anyone that's good. For the bums that should be displaced by people that work harder than them, that's fine. They can go.
That's fine.
Not for guys like me. I'm not specifically oil and gas, but I've worked in oil and gas for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I hold my own. If someone better comes along than me, then as far as I'm concerned, that's the way the market. That's how the market is going to dictate.
Yeah,
I'll have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you can just go to Florida.
It's just the correct way of doing things. And then we have a lot of retards here. We have a lot of retards here that make six figures.
Oh yeah,
for literally sucking water out of ditches.
Yeah,
to make six figures.
I mean, it's
like you don't justify six figures sucking water out of ditches. I'm sorry, you don't.
No. I mean, that's a famously Canadian story. It's just like someone graduates high school and just goes to the oil rigs and makes fucking.
Well, you can, right? Like I've personally never worked on the floor of a drilling rig, but almost my entire family fucking has.
Yeah.
And the shit that you do, would justify six figures, and the amount of skill that it takes does justify six figures, especially today with modern technology.
Yeah.
In the old days, it was a farmhand could do it. Now if you're going to be beyond a basic roughneck, you need to at least have high school math.
Mm-hmm.
to take the training those guys take.
Interesting. All right. Well, we gotta. I guess. Yeah. I didn't know that. So that was news to me. That
So it'll be October 19th. It'll be October 19th. You'll probably be able to tune in on CBC if they cover it.
You bet. I'm going to be watching that.
It'll be a shit show. It'll be interesting.
What's your prediction? I'm going to let you go after this, but what is your prediction for how it goes?
Won't pass. Maybe 30% support. I think
30%. Which I mean, that's the thing.
It's all a leverage move, right? What comes next is the Bloc Alberta.
Yeah.
Right. It will be a separatist party will form in Alberta, and they'll take the part of the CPC.
Yeah, I feel like you can't have referendums just like every few years, though. That's the thing.
You can't. I agree.
That's like a generational.
This is a once in a generation chance.
Yeah. So you almost, for the people who are not wanting them to separate, you almost want this to happen to just put it to bed for 25 years. And
that's honestly what I tell people. Anyone that questions me on why I'm a sovereigntist, I say, well, I'm not necessarily a sovereigntist, but let's get this fucking question put to bed already.
Yeah.
And what problem do you have with direct democracy? There's no better form of direct democracy than just having a referendum and lets everyone vote.
I mean, the effects on everybody in the country will be. I don't even know how you could predict what will happen. But
as a red-blooded American, I almost said a red-blooded American dog. As a red-blooded Albertan, I want the rest of the country to suffer.
Sure. I understand the sentiment.
100% want them to suffer.
Yeah, I know the sentiment.
Right? And if it's like, I'm terribly sorry. I've been across this entire country. I've been to every province and every territory. And I want them to suffer because they've been taking from us for too long.
Yeah, Quebec especially, huh?
you Ontario people are just as bad.
Yeah, Quebec gets a lot. I think Quebec gets the highest transfer payments. I think more than Ontario.
At least Quebec has a good nightlife. You ever been to Montreal?
Yeah.
Toronto sucks.
Yeah, Toronto does suck.
I'm not even going to tell you what happened to me on Church Street.
That's where all the gays are. All right, I got to let you go, man. Thanks for calling in. All right. Let's go to some patrons.
Hey, Danny.
Hello. What's happening?
Oh, nothing much. Taking my dog for a walk in the heat.
Nice.
It's it's like 95 degrees here.
Whoo! It's cold outside, and my
35
studio
Celsius to you.
my studio is probably like 90 degrees right now. It's crazy how hot it is.
Yeah, is that still the issue with like the old style like radiators that you don't control?
Yeah, there's just a tube. It's all radiators. They have a boiler in the basement, and I guess they get to the building, they look at the weather, and they just turn it on. And if I guess it has to be like a minimum temperature, and then they turn it on, but does not need it at all. So it's just swelter in here.
Well, greatest city in the world, so.
Oh, of course. We'll be hearing a lot more sirens the rest of the show, that's for sure.
Yeah, nothing but the best. But hey, that last caller, really interesting. I like hearing the Albertan perspective on everything, especially, when someone says like, hey, I strongly feel this way, but I think I'm the minority.
Sure.
As far as,
I mean, you have to think
like,
that... it's just the damage that will... I know, like, Albertans are really, like, don't give a fuck about the rest of Canada, but you don't necessarily know that this will be a net benefit for Alberta. This just might be kind of...
Right.
Them doing this thing to lash out.
Yeah. If you look at... Let's just say the referendum does go through... Alberta being its own sovereign nation versus joining the U.S., to me, it's kind of similar to, Texas fought a war of independence against Mexico and was a sovereign nation for a short time before they joined the U.S.
Yeah. How long was Texas a sovereign nation for?
Oh, I don't even want to guess because I know I'll be wrong. I'm not a Texan, so.
Okay.
But I don't think it was very long. I'd say, a couple years at most. It might have only been months. I really don't know. Yeah.
Nearly 10 years. The Republic of Texas existed.
Okay, 10 years.
1836 to 1845. So 10 years. Yeah. The thing is if Alberta leaves, you're like, the writing's on the wall. They're going to be a part of the United States at some point.
Well, and I totally get people saying like, hey, we don't want to trade, Canadian federal bullshit for USA bullshit. But if you're young and you're looking at like the job opportunities, if all of a sudden you are a United States citizen in Alberta, you can stay in Alberta your whole life if you want, or you can move anywhere there's a good job for you. So.
Oh, absolutely. Like no question about that. And,
well, like, my experience with, aviation and like I've met, Canadian pilots that are like down in Houston for training, and just talking to them, like they wish the U.S. would open up more aviation jobs to Canadian pilots.
Of course, they make way more money.
They're so limited on opportunities up there.
And
if you're living up there is nothing.
If you're living in Canada, it's like the exchange rate's 140 right now. So, you make $100K, that's actually $140,000 in Canada.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I think if no matter how anybody feels now about joining the U.S., I think if they did secede from Canada, that they, cooler heads would prevail.
Yeah, and there's less federal meddling.
To join the US.
There's less federal meddling in the United States. Like, every state kind of gets to a degree, govern themselves, which is not the case in Canada. Like, the federal government has tons of power in Canada. There's not like the state-by-state stuff the way that they do it here. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be a crazy thing to happen. Nobody thought Brexit was going to go through, though, and that happened. I mean, it seems a somewhat similar thing where you're just like, nobody saw that coming. And it happened. Is the United States going to nuke Iran tomorrow?
I'm going to say doubtful.
Doubtful.
I think it's probably, my guess would be an uptick in the conventional bombing strikes.
Do you think they'll actually go after power plants and bridges and shit? I saw them bomb the shit out of one bridge. Yeah, and I hate that it's,
it's gotten to this point, that you're talking about infrastructure that hurts, the average
Yeah, that's
citizen.
just civilian. I mean, I said
like
it last
that.
week. The whole point of this was to free the civilians from the tyrannical rule, and now you're just bombing them back to the Stone Age and saying
I don't know that was the whole point as much
maybe
as
not
it
the whole
was. Here's another net positive.
Sure.
If we can set back their nuclear program and their ballistic missile capability and get them to stop supporting these proxy networks, that's the goal. And if the people rise up and take over, even better.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw Trump was saying, I think today, that they gave all the Kurds all these weapons to give to the Iranians, and the Kurds just kept them. But again, there's probably so many lies happening right now where it's hard to really take anyone at face value.
That's true. Yeah. I wouldn't say that I'd be surprised. In my experience with the Kurds, that's kind of what I would expect them to do, not like in a dishonorable light. Just, what would you do if you were a member of like a disenfranchised race? You'd look after yourself.
Right. Right.
So,
but doesn't that kind of sour future?
Yeah.
I don't know what the U.S. Kurdish relationship is, but doesn't that, isn't that kind of short-sighted of them to just kind of...
I don't think there's a future situation where they would say, God, we need the Kurds again, but we can't trust them. I think you just keep going to that well as much as you need to.
Right.
If you decide to give a bunch of weapons to the Kurds to hand over, you kind of got to know, like, at a minimum, they're not going to give them all over.
Sure. Yeah. They'll pocket some of them, but to say they just took them
breakage,
all.
Yeah,
exactly. But to say
we
they
got to
took...
get a taste.
Yeah, that's understandable. Did you follow that whole pilot thing? The pilot who got
Yeah, I did, and I was reluctant to even bring it up because I know you kind of got some hangover of talking about.
No, well, you're
in
for people who
Iran,
don't know, you're in the military, so this is kind of more your domain. I just there's only so much shit I can talk about stuff I don't really know about.
Right. Yeah, and most of the news, especially when I think listening to last week's pod after I got off, that a couple other callers kind of shit on the people I recommended that you follow. So I was kind of curious if you'd seen any of their content and how you felt, if it was worth
I don't know.
Following
I looked at it. It's just it's kind of what I thought it would be. It was very inside military stuff, but obviously, what they're allowed to kind of show. But it was just very it's almost like watching a guy who's in a frat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, on some of it. So, specifically, Kagan Dunlap, I feel like his niche is more straight, short news reporting of current events that are, relevant to his audience.
Is he the redhead? Who is the young redhead kid?
No, Kagan's the Marine. He's got dark hair.
Okay.
More of just a short segment news.
Oh, gotcha.
At this point.
Gotcha.
But when something's going on, you're just wanting to know what's the update on the Air Force Wizzo. Has he been located? Is he killed or captured? It's nice, having someone that's constantly putting out, it's probably curated or approved by, Department of War, but it doesn't make it,
not true.
Not worthwhile.
Did you see the Joe Kent thing by chance?
What?
So
What
so Drop Site News, which is I'd say a fairly left-wing news source, they did a tweet. This is when it was unclear what was happening with this pilot. It says, Iranian state-linked Tasnim News, citing a military source, claims U.S. forces are bombing areas in southwestern Iran where a missing pilot may be located, alleging Washington has lost hope of recovery and is attempting to kill him. And then Joe Kent basically tweeted, praying for the rescue of our down pilot and the safe return of our special operators going in to get him back. Does the U.S. ever do that where they would just kill their own pilot because he's not recoverable?
I'm not going to say no,
okay.
But that sounds highly unlikely to me because even, in the situations where they are captured, the Joint Recovery Center, never stops working. We had Vietnam POWs that were held for 8 years
Yeah.
that were constantly tracked and worked, and trying to recover them through like diplomatic means, or if they could get intelligence on where they're being held, things like that. So,
the notion that they would kill him after 24 hours, they're just like, yeah, this is a lost cause.
No, and I don't think they would kill him ever just for fear that he's going to get captured, and we can't let that happen. So just a quick overview. So an F-15 Echo model is a later version of the F-15, which was a like 70s, 80s era air superiority fighter. Well, the E model, they call the Strike Eagle, was given ground attack capability. So that opening attack in Desert Storm, where all of Iraq's communication and satellite or radar got knocked out.
Yeah.
That was all F-15Es flying low, hitting targets on the ground, while F-15C models, which is the traditional air superiority fighter, flew combat patrols overhead to protect them. So that's the plane that was shot down in Iran. And there's been a lot of talk of like, I thought we controlled the skies. I thought they didn't have any air defense. So the smallest level of like air defense is a man-portable missile. Like you can't get rid of all of them.
Right.
There's still MANPAD stands for Man-Portable Air Defense System. There's still MANPADs in Afghanistan that we gave the Mujahideen in the 80s when they were fighting the Russians.
And they still work.
So, well, provided the batteries are still good. So, talking about the ones that have been there for 40 years, maybe, but the ones the Iranians had, absolutely. So, don't know what shot down the F-15, but so the two-man crew, it's one pilot and a weapons systems officer, WISO for short. So the WISO was the one that was missing.
Gotcha.
So I know for broad strokes, the media just says the second pilot, not a pilot, but it doesn't really matter. It's kind of semantics.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that does like the targeting stuff for the air to ground munitions. So part of the rescue package they put together, which was incredibly robust, was tactical bombing of areas as a diversion. So I think that's probably why it was reported that they've begun bombing this area, and they just assume like, oh, they're trying to kill their pilot before we get them. So the fear was once we roll in this combat search and rescue package, everyone searching is going to know where he is and converge on him. And we're bringing a very small force, which, is often a recipe for disaster. If you look at the lone survivor story, it was because it was 4 guys alone.
Right.
So part of that plan was multiple false rescue sites in different parts of the country to kind of pull all those militia away from the true rescue site.
No, but don't the Iranians know that the U.S. isn't trying to kill their own pilot? It's not a pilot, but after such a short period of time, wouldn't they be aware of that?
Yeah, that was probably just pure propaganda. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a good chance that the actual Iranian leadership didn't believe that, but that's what they choose to tell their propaganda machine to push out.
Right.
And there's plenty of Americans that'll hear that and believe it because they want so bad for Trump to be the bad guy that I'm sure there's some people that God, I hope this rescue is a disaster and 100 more guys get killed so that Trump, has to wear that as a legacy.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I just found it so weird. Joe Kent was, quote tweeting. I'm not saying he even endorsed it, but the fact that he would give any credence to it whatsoever, he was
Yeah. Which there was a press conference earlier today with Trump and Hegseth and the commander of the Joint Chiefs and the director of CIA. So they addressed a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Of how it was actually carried out. So
impressive.
But no, and I've reached out to friends of mine, just not asking questions, but just sending texts of hey, proud of your guys, guys I know that are pilots in the Air Force CSAR community or Army Special Operations, just I'm sure you're getting a lot of this, but
yeah.
And I think we're pretty unique in the kind of the whole theme of Saving Private Ryan, that there's really nothing that we won't risk for one guy.
Yeah.
And I debated telling you this story just because it is a personal firsthand story. I don't think there's anything sensitive in it, but some people may or may not know that military canines are kind of treated as service members, not property.
Mm-hmm.
So about 9 years ago, I was supporting medevac operations in the tri-border between Jordan, Syria, and Iraq. And so I was in operations one night, and we had common satellite radio and like MERT chat with for the whole theater. So if there was a medevac anywhere going on in those countries, I would see it. And one dropped for a canine, and the reason was it was having seizures. And the person receiving the request answered back, like, the dog or the handler? And they came back with the dog. So the story was this explosives detective canine that was searching these warehouses in northern Syria got into some unknown substance and had a seizure.
Shit.
The medic on the team hit him with whatever meds you would give someone having like a neurological effect. And he had a second seizure, and that's when they submitted the medevac request. And I feel like not a lot of countries in the world would do this, but we launched 2 Blackhawks, the medevac, the handler, and his dog back to the base. Oh, it goes much further. So they get back to the forward surgical team, which of course doesn't have a veterinarian. It's like a general surgeon, an ER doctor, an anesthesiologist, and some like scrub techs.
Okay.
You know, and they're kind of intended to perform emergency field surgery for guys that are shot and blown up. So they do everything they can for this dog, you know, fluids, IV fluids and whatever, but they say, look, like, we can't do any more for this dog. It needs to get to an emergency vet, and that's in Baghdad. So northern Syria to Baghdad would be like, yeah, I got sick in Oakland, and you got to get me to Vegas.
Crazy.
You know, it's not real close. So the theater commander launches 2 Marine Corps Ospreys, the V-22 tilt-rotor aircraft, out of northern Iraq to fly to northern Syria to pick up his dog. They don't have the duty day to make it from there to Baghdad, so they fly back to Erbil and hand this dog off to 2 other Ospreys that fly down to Baghdad to get this dog to an emergency vet. So in one night, they dedicated 2 Blackhawks and 4 Ospreys to make sure that this dog was okay.
Was that the dog you adopted?
No. This was after I adopted mine, so my dog was safe at home while all this was happening. But because I had been so located with medevac in all these places, as soon as I saw what was going on, I called the base in Syria, and I was like, hey, what's the deal? And she told me, the girl working flight ops. So then I called Erbil and talked to the lieutenant that was running that one, and I was like, hey, here's the situation. There's 2 Ospreys coming in with a K9 team. Any support you have to help move them from one aircraft to another, they're going to be flying down to Baghdad International. And then I talked to a captain that was running medevac ops out of Taji, which is central Iraq. And the last update I could get was she confirmed that the dog arrived at the vet still alive. So that's the end of the story as far as I know it. Hopefully the dog lived a long, happy life, but I really don't know. But either way, like that whole like treating a dog like a service member, it's not just something that we say.
Yeah. I mean, back to, you know, if my taxes are going to that, badass. I'm down with that.
Well, you know, there was a humanitarian woman that got captured. I think she was doing like mission work in Africa. It was like your basic, like, her camp got raided and everyone Western was kidnapped for ransom. And this was when Obama was president. I don't remember what year, but she was able to get communication to the outside world, like screened communication by the captors because they wanted money.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think she was a doctor. And so in one of her letters, she said she fears she has a urinary tract infection and there's no medical resources. So Washington determined, like the expert said, if she's right, without antibiotics, she could be dead in 2 weeks. So Obama and Panetta authorized like a JSOC rescue for an American civilian, like one woman that was being held in Africa that might die if they didn't do something. And I want to say it was Army CAG, which most people know as Delta, that like hit that camp and killed everybody in it that wasn't a hostage. And then took her, and I don't know how many hostages there were. There was a British man that was with her, because he was later quoted as saying the best stroke of luck in his life is that he got captured with an American.
Right.
Because nobody else was going to do that.
Yeah, they would have just left
to bring back one of their people.
Right.
Yeah.
Wild. Wild stories.
Which, it's not the government's fault that they were in that situation.
No.
But, we have a government that, if you can do something, you do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. All right, I gotta let you go, but thank you again for calling.
Yeah. I actually was gonna call and talk about Artemis, but I'll just
another time.
I'll just move on and
it's all fake. It's all fake, anyways.
Yeah. All right, later, Dana.
Cool shit. All right, let's go to some more patrons. Phone lines are open. 1-347-391-6995. Dylan.
Dude, I'm so excited. We went to the moon.
We went to the moon. Did you see any of the live stream?
No, because it's fake.
Well, then, are you impressed by the production quality of these fake moon missions?
I don't even bother, dude. This is bread and circus.
This is not bread and circus. This isn't a fucking a Bills game. You don't, there's no part of you. I guess if you fully believe this is all fake, then you can't be impressed by any of this. But the notion that there's a spaceship, I don't know, what is it, 50,000 miles away, 500,000 miles away, that is live streaming 24/7 to YouTube in decent resolution. None of that is impressive to you at all. Obviously, you'd have to assume that this is real, but.
Correct.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, it's just a weapons program.
240,000 miles away from Earth.
I don't believe any of it.
Well, it might be look, I'll concede that there's some ulterior motives at play. All I'm saying is, are you? But you're not you're saying that it's a weapons program. But are you saying that these are just all fabricated videos?
I have no reason to believe why we would be going to the moon. The only reason that they use this technology is to build more weapons.
This is, this is the disenfranchised American in you, where it's you just because you can, because there's some money lying around. There's lots of money for lots of stuff here, and they just do it because why not? To just flex on the rest of the world. That's why.
Yeah. I definitely am disenfranchised, listening to Mr. Rah Rah America talking about how people just want to see Trump as the bad guy. And he is absolutely the bad guy.
Hold on. You got to be liking his posts about 1929 New York City. You got to be liking those ones. You see him on True Social the last few days? He's been look at New York City in 1929. It's all just white people walking around. You could kind of tell where he's going with this. You got to like that.
Dude, the thing that you get wrong about me is that I really hate a majority of white people as well, because it's the vampire rules where at some point one of us let the vampire in through the door.
Yeah.
And so we have a responsibility in this. And I actually went through this with my boomer father and my aunt, who I told you is the one that had the interaction with one of the 9/11 hijackers.
Yeah.
And they still believe all the shit that's going on in Ukraine. My dad was telling my aunt about how he went to go to the protest for the No Kings thing.
Your dad went to a No Kings protest. Does your dad have the pink pussy hat? Yeah. Does he have the pink pussy hat? Does he have one of those? You should knit him one for Christmas.
Dude, they were so... God damn it. I showed you in the Patreon during Halloween where his girlfriend put tombstones of all of the different departments that Trump closed.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's real boomer shit right there. That's how you're decorating your Halloween.
He used to be so cool. He used to fucking... one time we were on a field trip, and he was driving, and this little annoying kid wouldn't shut the fuck up. And my dad said, if you don't shut up, I'm going to pull over in this parking lot, and I'm going to leave you there. And the kid didn't shut up, and he did it.
Your dad
and
left
he
him?
left him there.
That's crazy. Yeah. That was like before phones.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff,
was
too.
badass.
And it was probably like not
He
like
called him a faggot.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
I'm sorry. Fuck. I didn't mean to do that on your
whatever.
thing.
It happens. You know what your dad might need is he might need testosterone. I'm starting to think maybe because you know as you age your testosterone goes down. It's probably why he's lost his edge and he's kind of softening and he might need a little tea
Yeah,
boost.
I think he was taking tea for a while, and then I don't know what happened to that. I think he's just defeated. He has a nice house, and he can just go sit on the dock and look at the dolphins and the sunset.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like a nice life.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like sometimes, like my wife, I told her, like, you really can't take anything away from me because I'm perfectly satisfied of like burning everything down and living in a shed.
I'm sure your wife would love to live in a shed. Most wives would love the idea of living
I would
in
live in a shed by myself.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying if she's threatening you, you go, there's nothing you can take. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
I'll have her come on I'll have her call in tomorrow so she can explain what it's like to live with me.
I'm very curious.
But actually I came to call in and talk about Germany's little rule that they just implemented.
What's that?
Did you see that?
I didn't.
Surprised you're not talking about this. So Germany just enacted a rule for any man between 17 and 45 if he wants to leave the country for more than 3 months.
Oh, I
has
saw.
to inform the German military.
Yeah, I saw something about that. That's an actual like law, or is that a proposed law?
Mm-hmm. No, that's they changed the conscription laws, and also on top of that, a nice little German company that I used to work with has started working with Rheinmetall and some other German manufacturers to go back to their roots of producing weapons. And so that's kind of an interesting little tidbit of information to tie those together.
Interesting. So yeah, this is the headline: German men aged 17 to 45 may need military approval for long stays abroad. And what is the exact reasoning behind this? Just like if they have to go to war, they need them back? They need to know where they are?
I think they're planning for something because, as I've been saying when we talk about Ukraine and all this, is they've got way too much invested in this. And the other thing is that Mercedes has, I don't know if the other manufacturers do this, but I know for a fact that Mercedes actually has its own bank.
Okay, that makes sense. It's just like how Ford has their own financing arm.
Yeah, they have their own bank, and a lot of this is invested into the government and manufacturing. They've closed down like a few of the different, like Audi, plant that I was just reading about got closed down in Germany. I do remember when I was working on a lot of AMGs, because like the AMGs are hand built. And so I started to see a lot more AMG tags on engines signed by not very German names. So I'm wondering if they're going to maybe include these people in society.
I lost you there. Dylan, something happened with your headphones or mic or something.
Oh.
Sound like you're 1,000 feet away. Just some clarification on this. By the way, just some clarification. This is from Der Spiegel.
Okay.
This is basically says that as long as military service in Germany is voluntary, you don't have to give the 3 months, but they put it into law. But if it becomes involuntary, then you will need to provide 3 months. But as of now, military service
Well, that's if you say something bad on Twitter.
Yeah, but as of now, military service is voluntary. But of course, like laws like this always is, you're like, okay, well, they're making this law because they plan on using it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you say something bad on Twitter, or you use the wrong pronouns, or maybe you lift your hand the wrong way.
Well, Germany's the one where you always get in trouble from on Twitter. It's always like you post something and
That's
then
what I'm saying.
Gets removed because they were like, this violated German law. I'm like, I don't give a shit about German law. I don't live in Germany.
Well, you say something bad, and instead of breaking rocks, we're going to send you to the meat grinder.
Sure. Interesting how Germany has changed over the years, isn't it?
But yeah, and also back to Mr. Trump and like us abandoning troops. Let's not forget Pat Tillman, the Mayagas incident, and also Operation Phoenix, where we definitely kill our own troops quite consistently.
But aren't they always an accident? Like, isn't the Pat Tillman thing was just friendly fire?
Oh yeah, that was definitely an accident. And there was definitely no reason for people around him to not like what he was saying.
Yeah.
And do you know what Operation Phoenix is?
No, tell me.
You should go down that rabbit hole. I won't go down on it, but it's just we were definitely killing our own people.
Operation Phoenix, the Phoenix program, was designed initially coordinated
Phoenix
by the
program is,
or is that something
this
different?
is Vietnam.
Yeah, that's Vietnam.
Okay.
They have multiple Phoenix?
I believe there was 2 Phoenix programs.
Okay. The Phoenix program. I mean, there's one that's literally on the CIA's website, so probably take that with a grain of salt.
And they essentially made quotas for having to kill innocent bystanders, and if you didn't, then they started killing our own men.
This was in Vietnam?
I mean, and Pat Tillman, we've done it plenty of times. We left people behind with the Mayagas incident with the Khmer Rouge. We do this shit all the time. Like, trying to think of something more recent that we did, but like, I don't see how you can think that Trump is a good guy when he went back on all of his promises that he said he was
quite literally almost
do.
all of them.
Yeah, and all of this probably just to save his ass. And on top of that, like, all this market manipulation has just been coincidentally helping all his friends like Howard Lutnick.
Crazy.
And his
I mean, dude, the thing is
cokehead son.
It'll never get looked into. Guaranteed, there's not even going to be an investigation into why all the news he puts out is front run by 5 minutes to the tune of literally billions of dollars. There'll never even be like an email sent about like, what's up with this? And dude, I saw, what was this? Like, I think it was someone in New York. This was 3 weeks ago. Someone in New York got arrested, charged. Either they got charged or they were convicted of insider trading for their friend gave them a stock tip where they turned $2,000 into $8,000. Like the small potato shit that they're like going after people for that. And literally these guys are making like $500 million. It's like not even looked into.
Well, look at like Martha Stewart and Enron.
Yeah.
You know, or what's her name? Ramen Noodle Hair down here in Florida. And Pelosi can go get away with all this shit.
Well, the thing with Pelosi is what she's doing is they just haven't made that illegal. It's obviously super unethical and it should be illegal. But she would just say like, it probably should be illegal. And, many people have said that, but it's just not. Why? I don't know.
I would forgive her if she would just show me her big fucking Khazar milkers.
I mean, dude, she's got enough money. She doesn't need to do that. She's got fucking, for some reason, a congresswoman is worth, what is she, like $300 million or something wild like that?
Well, actually, coincidentally, they're going after Ilhan Omar yesterday. They announced that.
Yeah, because her business
just happens to be a supporter of Somalia.
Sure. And her business happened to just do, $30 million in, I don't know if sales or something, but she was like, she's getting super rich. I mean, look, that's kind of the understanding.
Well, they ignored all these other people, and then Ilhan Omar, because of her connections to Somalia, who happens to be in direct opposition of Somaliland, who's the ally of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Then, it starts making sense when this whole thing with the Somali fraud thing happened, just as Israel recognized Somaliland as a country and nobody else wanted to.
Wait.
It's just so blatant.
Hold on. Are you saying that the Nick Shirley stuff, Nick Shirley was put up to it by the Israelis? Because that's kind of where the whole Somali stuff.
No, I'm not saying
off.
that. I'm saying that they popularized, like they pushed that stuff to the front because people had been talking about it before and it's been well known. But then all of a sudden, right at the same time that we're starting to escalate tensions with I always forget. So it's just Strait of Hormuz, but then on the other side it's like something.
I don't know.
Down there between Yemen and Somalia. And at the same time, right when all that happened, Somalia and was going against what Israel's and going with Yemen, I believe it was. It's been a while since I was reading about this, but at the same exact time, Somaliland got recognized by Israel for the first time as an actual country, and no other country will recognize it.
Yeah, I know that. But so are you saying that the Nick Shirley stuff got kind of artificially propped up? Like that wasn't an organic thing?
Of course it is.
Interesting.
Of course it is.
Interesting. I suppose it's possible. I mean, it's certainly
it's
possible.
It's just like, I mean, I don't think that like a lot of these people, I don't think that like just because they get propped up by the government that they're a knowing like worker of the government.
No, I agree with that.
But
I'm not saying but they, they see a narrative and, they just go, oh, let's push this to the top. That's certainly possible.
Yeah. And all of a sudden he becomes a huge darling of, Elon Musk and all these people. And it just happens to be beneficial to the people that run our country, which are not in our country.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Dylan, everybody, go check out his YouTube page, Dylan Farnham, 1488. And the phone lines are still open, 1-347-391-6995. I think I missed a super chat here. Darren Bianco, channel member for 17 months. Congrats, Darren. It's time to talk about the rings, Danny. Which rings? Which rings are we talking about here? Darren. Nbay with a bunch of USA flags. Love it. And Howling Kenny Rogers. Shout out to Hero Dog. He's a real dog and a real hero. All right. Let's take another call here. Phone lines are open. Probably have slots for maybe a couple more calls on top of who's waiting. We're going to go to Peter from the Patreon. Peter, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's happening?
So, just because Artemis, I assume they came out of the blackout. I figured
I think they are. They should be.
Sure.
Yeah. They're out of the blackout now. They should be back on their way back to Earth, I believe.
Gotcha. So, to a thought and a question. First of all, Dylan, I think is wrong. Space isn't fake; it's just gay.
Space being fake is. People say
it's
that as
too
a
much.
fact.
They really do spend that amount of money.
Yeah, but if you want to say
really
it's gay,
do.
that's fine. Anything can be gay.
Yeah, I can make a good argument that it's gay, but I'll get to that.
Well, I guess my question is, what are they doing right now? Is this just they're just in a studio?
They're keeping Lockheed Martin and Boeing's space divisions afloat right now.
No, I more mean from the. I'm almost coming at this as someone who's like a filmmaker or something. I'm just like, how? Because this is impressive. Like I'm watching it. I have it live right now. They're clearly not in a normal gravity situation. And obviously, there could be some wires and stuff. I understand that, but it's an impressive production. And especially, here's the thing. This isn't like the original moon landing where you're like, here's 5 minutes. We have to produce a 5-minute video. This is 24/7 live. I mean, I'm retarded even having this conversation because it's obviously real, but it's obviously live.
Sure, but the thing, just to make the argument, the many arguments about it being gay, like,
Gay is a
how
different
many
thing.
times did you hear them call out what Nikon lens they were using, or the fact that they had GoPros mounted on the solar wings, or the fact, conspicuously, that they kept talking about PCBs, or personal computing devices, instead of just
Well, did you
saying
see
that
they had the
iPhones on every iPhone.
Everybody was talking about the Nutella thing where they went and grabbed a Nutella and the Nutella was floating across the screen. Everybody was like, looks like a perfect Nutella commercial, essentially.
Well, I mean, is that not a great, starter argument for it's all gay? It's definitely not fake because there is just rampant commercials playing during a NASA mission.
That's true.
They clearly have a partnership with Nikon. They clearly, they are instructing the lady who's doing the emceeing for Houston, calling out brand names that paid them.
I mean, they might have some, but as an American, don't you want them to, do this stuff so that they spend less of your money? Like if they have to say like, hey, thanks to Nikon.
That is all a drop in the bucket compared to, it's like $2 or $3 billion a shot for, I don't know about you, Artemis. I still see it as the space launch system, the SLS rocket from, I think, the late Clinton era, at least the Bush era. It's all the same rocket. It's both space shuttle boosters and a Delta, one of the Delta rockets in the middle. It's all old technology with GoPros glued onto it.
Yeah, I guess.
And they're charging modern prices for essentially a mission that collects less data than an automated,
Yeah, I do wonder that. Like, can you just send a lunar or whatever? Like, you can just send something out there unmanned, right?
This was a experiment to prove that we can send a terrarium around the moon again. And in the 60s, there was a point because humans actually could accomplish functions that just weren't within the scope of automation back then. But now it's offensive on every level as an American taxpayer.
Really? Maybe I'm new to this country, but I guess you guys have a real been there, done that mentality. As you
have to really develop your deep-seated hatred for. I'm still
in the
gayness, Danny.
Yeah. I'm still new here, so I'm very much like, this is so cool. I love that they're wasting money on stuff like this.
The only silver lining is this kind of stuff bounced off me as a kid, because even as a kid, I had some sense of proportion. And I know that I'm never going to be able to afford a 30-story rocket.
No,
or at least there's a very low probability.
Very low probability, yeah.
It's never going to be within my actual life experiences. And at that point, it's a stunt. Just for background on me, I have been to, I don't know, 3-4 different archives related to NASA, the U.S. Air Force, different things related to our space program.
Interesting. These are open to the public?
Yeah. Danny, whenever you get, first of all, you can go, look, the National Archives is packed with Chinese researchers, so you can definitely go as Canadian or somewhere in between-ish, whatever your status is.
Where is it?
But so there's the National Archives on the National Mall in D.C., but the one you want to go to is the one in College Park, Maryland.
Okay.
If you've ever experienced a love for libraries and you don't need wood paneling, the National Archives is where to go.
And are you all just like looking at stuff on microfilm and shit and like doing that kind of?
Oh, it's lovely. Like I have to say, like, there is a balance between horror at what you see and admiration and, love for country that you feel for it. The newest technology that I remember being able to transfer video to, because I was going through a lot of 8mm, 16mm film in 2017, was VHS. There may have even been DVDs.
In 2017?
There was a couple DVD. In 2017, the U.S. government still clearly had millions of blank VHS tapes for you to transfer video footage that hadn't been seen since 1967 to a quote unquote modern film format, and that was VHS tapes.
Oh man,
They
must have bought
DVD
so many
machines.
blank VHS tapes.
Oh my God.
Way more than they thought they needed. Or someone just like their buddy, had them. And they just someone got paid.
There's
someone got greased.
Many believable explanations, but that's the status of, that's entirely within keeping with everybody's stereotype of the U.S. government.
Sure.
Keeping some
So you just have a
dinosaur
ton
technology.
of VHS tapes that.
Oh, they were free, by the way.
But
To be clear, they were free.
so you just transferred a ton of stuff, and you have all these VHS tapes at home.
Yeah, and then I had to transfer it from VHS to some AVI or some video.
And
file.
what are these videos of? Like just like the moon mission? Or?
No, I was researching a specific space program. The U.S. government put a lot of time into developing a nuclear-powered rocket and or various nuclear-powered aerospace vehicles, and I captured most of the footage.
And were you trying to get to the bottom of something, or were you just curious?
Kind of. Yeah, combination.
Okay.
Curious, trying to get to the bottom.
And what were you trying to get to the bottom of?
Why it wasn't pursued.
Gotcha.
Why it stopped. And, there's many layers to that. To the answer, I won't distract from the program right now. To bring it, I don't know, back to Artemis. Like I said, I've hated that rocket since I was a kid.
But this is more of a technical thing. You just don't like the actual rocket?
Let me say, so the rocket, I'm sure, is, 20 years more recently engineered than anything that flew on a space shuttle mission. I'm sure, I'm sure many engineers spent entire years since whenever the last shuttle mission was. I'm sure the boosters have a new composite casing and, new resin formula. I'm sure there's,
you're just saying it's unnecessary. Is that what you're saying? That it's just like all of the stuff was unnecessary. The old one was fine.
It's performative. It's performative work by graduate engineering.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you live in the wealthiest country on earth. You're not driving around in a fucking old Sierra. You get a brand new Cadillac.
It's not. My perspective is that is not a good deed by the American people. It maybe is cool, and there are some upsides if you can inspire particularly children into adopting a more technical mindset and breed the next generation of engineers. But otherwise, it is, I don't know how to say this, kind of obscene.
Yeah, you just don't like them putting rims on the rocket, basically. You go, that doesn't...
Putting rims on an ancient rocket, and it's also the motivation behind it. It's, first of all, I'm not even going to bring up Trump, but they've been trying to do this mission. I don't know if you knew this, for 20 plus years.
Yeah, it's
now.
been a while, right?
And yeah, it's NASA shouldn't have existed in the first place. Let's start there.
What, you
NASA,
think it should just be all private?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost all private. The minority of missions where NASA has carried loads for other government entity, they've carried loads for the Air Force, the National Reconnaissance Office, probably some other intelligence agencies.
Yeah.
I deeply hate Elon Musk. I don't want to go there. But,
all right, I gotta let you go. I gotta take some other calls, but
yeah, cheers.
All right,
but I'm glad that you're inspired by it. So
I am.
That's an upside.
All right, Peter, everybody. Let's go to someone from the Patreon who we haven't chatted with in some time. We'll get to the rest of you. Don't go anywhere if you're on hold. Jared, long time.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Dan?
Very well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Today, being we were talking about space, I just thought I'd give a little bit of insight into the program before astronauts are fully vetted and made astronauts. They need to go through, obviously, a training program.
Yeah.
And one of the things that included in this training program is scuba training.
Yeah, that's
for
fair.
those
They
who
always
aren't
show
aware.
them. Yeah, they always show them because I guess the G forces. That's the best simulator of it. Is water.
And they train at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab in Arlington, Texas.
Okay.
And in my opinion, every single spacewalk and images put out by NASA displaying astronauts in suits floating around doing repairs on the International Space Station and so forth, they're just filming at this underwater studio in Texas.
Okay, that's fair. Now, if you go to the NASA's YouTube channel right now, they're not in spacesuits. They're in just whatever regular clothes, and they're floating around. How are they doing that? Is that wires?
Wires and green screen. There's actually a great deal of footage that people have compiled, which could be found on Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, which shows the green screen, shows the harnesses.
For current, we're not talking about the old stuff. We're talking about for the current stuff.
The recent things that they've done. I'm talking the last 10 years. From what I saw with Artemis, there was a little floating little stuffed animal type thing that they were bobbing around.
Yeah.
And it appeared to have letters that it was picking up when it was angled at a particular face to the camera because of the green on the item, and it was picking up these letters that weren't in existence when it was facing a different direction.
I'll have to see that video because I use green screen a lot. I'm not a professional green screener, but I have some experience with it. This would be really, really hard to do what they're doing to make it look like this.
Not if you get billions of dollars a year.
I understand that. I understand that they're operating in a little higher production value than me in my fucking spare bedroom with a $50 light and a green sheet. But so this is all green screen. This is completely
what you're describing, and them sitting in rooms and appearing in zero G. Yeah, that just sounds to me like green screen productions.
Interesting.
Did you get a chance to take a peek at the China and the Jews episode?
I did not. No, but I saw something. Maybe Dylan told me about it. Dylan told me about it. No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. This is about the Jews in China.
Well, it ended up needing to be taken down because
of course
my
fucking YouTube.
Well, my company caught wind of it, and I was wearing a company hat.
Oh, how did your company? Was it the Jews who ratted you out? How did probably, to be honest,
it was the lesbians. It was, well, I mean, not Jews, but it was this lesbian girl, because I said that MLK was funded. His speeches were backed by Jews. The NAACP was funded by Jews. The lawyers were Jews, and he was attending orgies, which included homosexual activities.
Yes.
And she probably didn't like the orgies with homosexual activities comment, being she's a lesbian.
What about the sodomy?
So,
all the sodomy he was doing, that was in the JFK files.
And again, that might have been what triggered her and made her go to the company. And she not only did she repeat the statement that I had made, but she added 3 extras, including I was a big fan of Hitler and that Hitler was doing good things. When you know that that's not how I feel.
Sure.
You know that I am on.
You're like, hey, Hitler was fucking Jewish. What are you talking about, bitch?
Yeah, exactly. But I couldn't go down that road.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to get you out of hot water at work where you're like, no, you guys don't get it. Hitler was Jewish. I hated the guy.
Exactly. Yeah, so I had to just bite my tongue on that one.
I mean, dude, I'll tell you
I
this.
wanted to say,
I let everybody say whatever they want, but you have like, I don't have a boss, but like you have a normal job. You have to actually be careful with this stuff. People are crazy on the internet.
And honestly, at this point, I don't care. They've already found out about the podcast Dylan and I do. So I'm thinking about just going no mask. I'm not even going to hide my face.
Do you work for like a large company?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that unless you really, really feel like, having to go find new work. Like dude, I'm telling you, there's a reason why, and there's a lot of anonymous accounts on Twitter and, there's big anonymous accounts. I don't know if this is worth it personally.
Yeah, maybe that's good advice. I don't know. I've just been thinking about it since.
As your trusted Jewish advisor, do your anti-Semitism anonymously.
Oh, okay. Maybe
it's just not worth it.
I wouldn't say it's anti-Semitism though.
Whatever you want to call it. I'm just like, it's not worth. Like, I don't know if you have kids or anything, or a mortgage or a car payment. It's just not worth it. You can say anything you want to say. Just don't wear your fucking company hat,
Yeah, that wasn't the brightest on my end.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's just not.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in Chandler.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Got my ticket.
Nice. Well, I don't know if you're a drinking man, but we'll have a beer after if you are.
I'm a drinking man. We'll get a few in.
Oh, okay. Then we're going to do it. But yeah, just be careful with this stuff, Jared. And then if you lose your job because of this stuff, dude, you're going to spiral on the Jews. It's no longer just going to be a fun little hobby. You're going to be like, the Jews cost me my job.
Yeah, I guess you're correct there. I'll take this into consideration.
It's worth just taking into consideration.
I should. Yes, sir. As my Jewish advisor, I thank you.
Yes, no problem. Anything else there, Jared?
No, that's all.
All right.
Keep you updated and say I appreciate what you're doing, sir.
All right, later, Jared. Jared, everybody. Yeah, guys, you got to chill on this stuff. Nobody's saying don't do it. I mean, the fact is YouTube is letting you say this stuff. 300-1416 says, take care, bud. I don't know if that's what that's in reference to, but thank you for the super chat. Let's go to Cole from Peoria. Cole.
Hi, Danny.
All right. Well, now someone who I know is not a moon denier.
I am actually a moon denier.
You are a moon denier. I don't know what to think anymore.
Well, yeah. I would say for this mission, I don't have a problem with it. I just don't understand like why people care about it.
I honestly, I agree. Like, they're kind of just like, yeah, we're just getting data. I just think it's cool that they're streaming to YouTube in fairly decent resolution from 280.
Oh, I mean, you can
280,000 miles away.
People bitch like about how that's like that's impossible, blah blah blah. You're like, yeah, you're in a vacuum. Like, there's no attenuation by anything other than like helium, really. I'm like, the thing is, most of this stuff's plausible. I just don't I don't care. So it's like people are like, do you deny the moon landing? Like, if I don't believe this or don't acknowledge it, it changes nothing about my life.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like the moon, I've always said that with like, flat earth, the moon landing. It's like, if people don't want to believe it, let them not believe it. It's a free country. What does it matter?
Well, I think the thing that annoys me most is like the dorks that walk up and are like, this pen writes in space. And you're like, prove it.
What in space? Say that again.
People like engineers get excited when they go visit like Cape Canaveral and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
But like, and then people have all these like fascinations with NASA as though it's like not a huge, like just rocketry slush fund for Operation Paperclip. And you're like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, where did all the Nazis go? Into the rocketry program? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about that more?
Right. And then people are like, well, that would be un-American. And you're like, yeah, so it's more of a patriotism angle. Like, do you believe in the moon landing? And in which case you're like, it's like going to church, in my opinion. As an American, it's just hygienic to believe in the moon landing.
Sure. That's a good way to put it.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. It is hygienic.
Yeah. So like scientifically, but the thing that annoys me is when these dorks go to Cape Canaveral and they come back with their paraphernalia after going to Disneyland. And then they're sitting there with this pen, this fountain pen. They're like, this pen has a pressurized internal valve. It writes in space. And you're like, prove it.
Right.
Prove that pen writes in space. And then they're like, well, I paid $100 for it. Like,
yeah,
okay,
expensive thing?
Prove it.
It's from Seinfeld with the moon pen.
Right. She's like, I'm like, I don't care. I was just like, go prove it.
Yeah.
It's just silly. So I guess, but the new one, it is kind of amazing that I guess there's all these like differences where they're trying to get like these really high efficiency injection valves, because when you're maneuvering in vacuum, you have to create these like tiny injections where you like kind of platform off of your own air. Okay. And they're just like these high pressure, like,
right.
And so it's they just have a high failure rate, and they have like big arrays of them, and they spend a lot of time calibrating them, just making sure it's good. But
yeah. I mean, it seems
I think
cool.
a lot of like people hate the over engineering.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not the best use of money, but again,
I don't know.
It didn't stop this country from doing shit before.
I'm not against people tooling around in space. It's just like I do wonder. The one thing I think, like a lot of moon narratives get abused because, like, for instance, in my company, they have this program like called Lunabotics, which they basically have convinced people that we're going to go mine on the moon. Mm-hmm. And you sit there and go, so mining, the thing that's like most haulage and truck, like the most haulage intensive thing in the universe, you want to haul fucking moon rock 200,000 miles back to Earth.
Yeah. Or
like what? Or it's like you sit there and go, like, strategically, why would anybody go to the moon unless you're talking about like interstellar or interstellar travel?
Well, that's like Elon Musk's thing, where he's like, yeah, like that's his whole premise of money's not going to matter in the future because everybody's going to be so rich because we're just going to be mining everything off the moon at like,
I mean, we'd have
close
to get
to zero cost somehow.
There's a few other things in terms of like literal scientific stuff. There's a few other things like a moon ladder or balloon ladders that would have to happen first, and then like platforms and other things. But I think we'll get there within the next 100 years. So it's like whatever.
So you do think we're just going to mine the shit out of the moon?
No, not like in the next 100 years, but I think they'll be using it as a launch pad at some point, and then maybe like mining it locally there for producing stuff there. Like,
right.
I think they have like a lot of titanium, so they're just trying. Right now, I've seen people trying to figure out how to make cement, like moon cement out of moon rock and moon water, because they found ice or something.
That would be like the height of opulence, as if your house on Earth was made with moon cement.
No. Like it's like you would just use this to make like a shitty like bunker so that you could like.
You're saying on the moon, but I'm saying people would be like, I want my house on Earth to be made out of moon cement, just to.
There's actually a weird story where some astronauts stole moon rock from the NASA archives and then drove to a moon themed hotel and fucked on it.
They fucked on a moon rock?
Yeah, look it up. There's like these, they got caught like stealing moon sand or moon rocks and then like taking them to a moon themed like
such an astronaut thing
hotel and having sex on it. Yeah. I guess otherwise with Iran.
Here we go. NASA. This is last year. NASA intern stole $21 million of lunar rocks from NASA to use during sex after promising his girlfriend the moon. He got 8 years in prison for it. Imagine you're in prison. You're like, what are you in prison for? You're like, I stole a moon rock and fucked on it.
Right. Yeah, like I don't understand moon stuff. It's out there.
Sure.
I guess as far as for the Iran war, I predict this will go on for at least the next 3 years.
You think 3 more years?
Our shale oil. Oh yeah, unless something like really changes, we've got like total price advantage here, and it's just gonna keep doing what it does.
Explain that a little better. Just in terms of the cost of refining oil and getting it out of the ground?
Iran's just a huge pipeline, and it controls access to 20% of the supply. So the fact that it's like it connects the Caspian Sea and east to west in a lot of the old world. So the fact that it's just down as a transport hub and it's not safe, people don't have highways, they don't have pipelines, they don't have anything. And so you're essentially like just cutting supply. And it causes everything there to degrade.
Now,
so it hurts them a lot more than it hurts us.
Oil is a global market, though. Would that? I don't know if you said this, but would that not require?
We since 2001, like Canada, we started exploring shale oil, and part of Bush's whole referendum or whatever they accomplished was like United States oil independence, which we have the lower price and always have. And these BRICS nations were getting kind of bullish, and now where are they?
But would that require the U.S. essentially banning exporting oil to these countries? Because again, it's a global market; anybody can buy a barrel of oil.
They don't have to. They don't have to ban it. All they have to do is create instability in the places where supply is fixed. So that they they cut supply like to Cuba and a bunch of other places. So it just starts getting really lumpy. And then all of these like subsidies and derivatives fall through. And then like just people start like fighting and shooting each other.
Right. You just create so much instability and they can get some oil on the open market, but just not enough what they need.
Well, if China's always had like smooth like imports, they like the question is, how long are they going to put up with that before they decide like enough's enough? We're just going to go get our own again.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but that takes a long time.
I don't know how long. I think they can play that game for like 3 years, but I think they probably want him to wrap that up before he leaves office.
Yeah.
Or they'll just use it as a way to excoriate him, like when the next regime comes in and be like, well, thank God he's gone.
Right.
And
keep on.
We're going to fix everything.
Interesting.
Quote unquote, we're going to fix everything.
Sure. Fix his mess.
The other thing that's crazy, I wanted to give you a heads up on was something I'd never heard of called clanker, which is a concrete precursor.
Oh, not the derogatory term for.
It is a derogatory term for an AI, but clanker is also it's a concrete like dust that requires calcification, all this stuff. But it has like chemically, there's just an irreducible amount of carbon in its production. And the EU has just had a flat tax on this with its carbon taxes. And in Heidelberg, Germany, in the southwest of the country, they have totally like cut out their clanker production and outfitted their quarries for aggregate and shipping. So now, because of this like price fix essentially on concrete, because of carbon taxation, they're going to probably be paying to generate more CO2 to haul rock to like the Ukraine border or to Russia in order to like have them generate concrete so that they can buy it back from them without the tax.
Really?
Or they import it from China.
So
and that's like reaching a price point as well.
Net, it's way worse for the environment, but they can pretend like it's better, essentially.
They don't. Well, they can't pay the cost. It's bizarre because like basically you realize this price fix is like during a war and a housing shortage in like throughout Europe. Germany and in the EU have just been price fixing concrete the whole time. And you're like, yeah, that's fucking like chef's kiss to retarded central planning. Like,
yeah, that seems it says it's clinker. Is that right? Clinker
or clanker. I think
cement kiln dust. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. There's just this like flat tax on it, but there's like nothing they can do to change it. So they've just decided not to process it in Germany anymore. If they can.
Sounds pretty stupid.
It is really stupid. Yeah. Other than the moon landing, yeah, that's all I've got.
Cool. Good talking to you, Cole.
All right.
Take care. Cole from Peoria, everybody. All right, we're going to try and bang out as many of these calls as I can, possibly in order. We have 14 minutes remaining. Hello. You're on Low Valley Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Danny. What's up, dude?
Yo.
All right, so I need some legal advice from my favorite Jew.
Okay. Not a lawyer, not
All
legal
right.
advice, but go ahead.
Yeah, you're close enough, man. I assume you know a little bit of it. So I pull up to a 7-Eleven. We have to double park my buddy's truck. This lady starts screaming at us. I give her a couple fuck yous back.
Okay.
And then tell her like that people have guns and she needs to be careful.
Okay, this seems really over the top already from your part. You're threatening her with guns because you double parked?
I just wanted to let her know that people have guns and that she should not be talking reckless to two adult males. California.
California, okay. Go ahead. All right,
Yeah.
continue.
So I let her know that she's doing some really unsafe things. And then I just like brush it off, walk into the 7-Eleven, grab some food, and then all of a sudden we have 6 cop cars on us.
Okay, yeah, that's what I would expect from that. I mean, unless it happened different than the way you're describing it, but the way you're describing it is that you threatened her.
If you call that a threat, I think that's a warning.
That's a threat. I mean, that's, I guess, up to the courts to decide.
All right, that's why I called to fucking figure out like what.
What did you get charged with?
Fucking aggravated assault or some shit like that.
Aggravated assault? No, that seems a lot. I don't know the details of the law to that degree, but that counts as aggravated assault.
I didn't even walk towards her and stuff like that. She was on the left side of the car.
Did you touch her?
No, dude. Like, I was in my car the whole time. She was in her car, and we were yelling at each other from like side to side and shit like that.
Says right here, aggravated assault is a felony involving an unlawful attack to inflict serious bodily injury, often using a weapon, gun, knife, or deadly force. So that's probably where maybe because you mentioned the gun. Did you have a gun on you?
But yeah, I don't even own a gun. She said I was waving. She called the cops and said I was waving a gun at her.
Okay, but you don't own a gun.
Yeah, don't own a gun.
So, I mean, it sounds like aggravated assault is a bit harsh of a charge. Seems like, there might be something there. I feel like if you have a good attorney, you could plea that down. I don't exactly know, but definitely, yeah, not a great idea to kind of be vague like that with and then referencing guns and stuff. Not.
You see all the videos online. I was just reminding her and stuff.
Yeah, you should. There's probably a way you could have done it. It sounds like you didn't choose your words. Dylan says that's definitely assault. And Dylan has had some experience with the
But isn't she falsifying a police report? Is she saying that like I had a gun
unfortunately,
and I was waving it? And
yeah,
no
and
gun
that might work in your favor because they didn't find a gun. So, obviously that discredits her a little bit because you're like, I didn't have a gun. Obviously, they didn't find a gun. So that's working in your favor. Yeah. This might turn out to be, as they say, the process is the punishment, where you might not get in trouble for this, but the process of proving your
I got my
innocence
penis touched 5 times.
Yeah, there's going to be more probably.
After the second time, I was like, get up in there. I'm not shy. I just fucking know that I don't have drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab my dick.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have to get an attorney for this one. I imagine you already have one, or if you...
No, I don't.
You don't? Well, you're going to need to get an attorney for this, because that's a felony. Do you know what class of a felony that is?
I don't know, dude. That's all. It just happened like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So I'm still trying to process and shit like that. And
yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna try to get some I don't fucking know, Dan. That's why
do you have money? Do you have any money?
No. I am very poor.
That's not good. That is not good. That's not great because probably if you had like a good expensive attorney, this would solve that. But that doesn't sound like the case here.
Right.
Unfortunately, I wish I had better news. It's not great.
All right. So we got that done. Did you guys cover the fucking 2 Iranian girls that fucking got fucking deported?
Oh, that was, what, I didn't, but that was crazy. Yeah, the Soleimani, I think it was Soleimani, the dude who fucking got bladed, missile bladed, whatever that thing's called. I think his daughter and his granddaughter or something like that. 2 relatives of his who had
something like that
green cards were living in California.
And they're talking shit. They're talking shit on fucking the government and shit.
Yeah, they were like very like pro-Iran. The younger daughter had, or the younger woman had apparently all this plastic surgery so that she couldn't be easily like identified.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, apparently she had all this plastic surgery so that she looked different from when she departed Iran. And yeah, now her and her mom, I think, are sitting in fucking ICE detention, about to get sent back to fucking Iran.
I mean, freedom of speech is for good Americans, not fucking spoiled brats fucking coming in our country and partying.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even obviously I think some First Amendment absolutists would say it's freedom of speech, but green card is a different type of protection. But from what I understand, what they're saying is she lied on her green card application. And regardless of the administration, that's always been a crime, or at least a pretext to revoke your green card. That's what they're saying. I don't know. Obviously, some people were saying, because it looked like they were about to take a hostage with that pilot in Iran. So people are like, now we're taking hostage so we can like trade them essentially. Like that's like what some people were speculating, that the U.S. was basically capturing those 2 women.
They're posting on social media and stuff like that.
And Laura Loomer. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but Laura Loomer was the one who ratted on them. She apparently sent all this stuff to DHS saying, like, I found these people. And yeah, so.
I mean, it's the punishment fits the crime and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, taking away a green card, again, you're not a citizen. It's not denaturalizing someone. It's just taking away the green card. The government is within their rights to do so. And, I know this wasn't the most popular opinion when I said this about that Mahmoud Khalif guy, but I'm like, why would you give green cards to people who fucking hate this country? That I just don't get.
I just don't get it. You're fucking if you're on social media, this fucking was saying like, fuck us, like, well, then fucking leave.
Yeah, well, exactly. But you're also just like, why would you want, I understand there's, this is a gray area topic, but you're like, why would you want to be allowing people to live in the country? They're not citizens when they fucking hate this place. They hate everything it stands for, other than they just like the luxuries that living here provides.
Nightclubs not wearing a fucking skirt over your fucking head.
Yeah, all
like
all of it.
Alcohol.
All of it.
Yeah, I bet you enjoy that.
Yeah, not I. All right, I gotta let you go, man. Good luck with all your shit, though.
All right, brother. Have a good day.
Take care. Oof. All right. We got a couple more patrons who just called in, and unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna get to anybody else. Dylan, you got some legal advice?
I don't usually call back in.
I know, but
again,
I
just
see a
wanna
note
help
that you
this
have some
guy.
legal advice for the previous caller, so that's why I took it.
Okay, so what he did was imply a threat, which is why
That's how I read it. Yeah, that's how I read it. It certainly seemed like an implied
And
threat.
so I've been in a situation before where I was stopping a drunk man from harassing his girlfriend and like clung onto a car, and then she tried to drive away, and then I stopped him, and then he tried to like come after me, and I'm 6'5", 240, and he's probably pushing 5'8".
Okay.
And just kind of normal body, but I don't know what he's got on him, and I just all I did was grab like around where my holster is, didn't even lift up my shirt, and just told him don't come near me, and the cops were very adamant that I tell them that I felt threatened,
right,
and in fear of my life,
right,
because even something that trivial, they will go after you as hard as they can, and they love an easy victim.
Right. And do you think he'll be okay because he didn't actually have a gun, and she said that he was waving a gun around?
It doesn't matter. He didn't have the gun, but he made the implied threat.
For sure he did.
Like, it could be argued that way. So he definitely needs to get a lawyer. They'll drop the case once that they have somebody going against it that has like a professional, legal abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But if he just tries to do this by himself, no, he's going to get charged. He's not going to make it out of it. But it's probably going to cost him probably $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully he can somehow come up with 10 grand, sell some stuff, get a loan out. Unfortunate way to learn this lesson, but yeah, you can't imply that you have a gun.
Because I
hate double
like,
park. Here's the thing. My main issue is I hate people who double park.
My mentality is I don't like, as much as you've seen me get into physical altercation
on the news.
Like, I don't like actually hurting people. Like when you saw that fight, or when I've told you stories, it's always somebody that like really pushes me towards me having to like physically stop them. And I'd rather them like think, okay, or my kid's screaming. I'd rather that they think that, that like I'm armed, so I don't have to put my hands on them.
Sure.
But that's not how the cops see it.
Yeah.
So
of course.
Even in that situation.
And I mean, this might be like an old lady. She's just like two young guys.
That's definitely like, yeah, it's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, he'll get off of it and he can get it expunged and all that, but it's going to cost him about $10,000.
God damn it. All right. Thanks, Dylan. All right. Going to go to Chris from the Patreon. Chris, are you there?
Yo, what up, Danny?
Yo.
How's it going?
Very well. How are you?
I'm good. I was curious. You may have already said this before, but would you consider yourself a Trump supporter still, or would you vote for Trump a second time at this point?
I mean, I'm Canadian. I never voted for him. I was never a per se supporter. My kind of thoughts on it, I would have, like, had I been able to vote in this previous election, because again, I'm Canadian, I would have voted for him just because the alternative was Kamala Harris, and I just thought she would have been worse. My real thoughts on the matter is that this is just, he was almost like the country had to take its medicine for all the nonsense it had been doing with all like the DEI and all the trans stuff.
Oh, totally. Open border.
Open borders. Like I've said this when he got elected. I was like, the Democrats could have won if they could just have been normal. They didn't have to be like right wing. They just had to be like normal Democrats. And they got so far away from, what they had traditionally been.
Yeah.
That this was just the medicine that the country had to take to just kind of course correct, because they went so nuts. But yes, I would have voted for him.
I see.
I would have voted for him.
I always clock you for a Trump supporter. I was a Trump supporter. I don't consider myself a Trump supporter any longer. And I would not vote for him again.
You know what? Always with politics, I'm not like a big team guy. Like, I go on Fox News all the time. I would vote for a Democrat. I would I guess I would be an independent. I'm like, I would just vote for whoever I think will do the best job in the next 4-year period.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have any allegiance to a party. If a libertarian showed up and I was like, I think they're going to do the best job in the next 4 years, I would vote for them. Unless it just seemed like a total waste of a vote, which unfortunately is in this country. But like, I'm just voting for whoever I think is going to do the best job in the next 4 years, maybe 8 years, but mostly just who's going to do the best job in the 4 years. I have no party allegiance whatsoever.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was a disaffected Democrat that went full Republican, and maybe that was the problem. You never go full.
Never go full anything. It's
R-tard. You never go full R-tard.
Exactly. You never go full anything. Just I don't love the super fanboy stuff of politicians in general.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's how the relationship should be with like people and politicians. It should just be like, they're there to do a job. Shouldn't be treating them like your favorite athlete.
And with regards to Israel, do you consider yourself like anti-Israel as far as like the Zionist project of like a greater Israel project?
No, I'm just, this doesn't really, I've said this before. I'm like a realist. Like all these people who are like, Israel shouldn't exist and Israel doesn't deserve, like, there's people who say America shouldn't exist either. It's not reality. True. It's just the reality is that Israel exists. It's a country on the other side of the world. I've been there once. I've been to Italy more times than I've been to Israel. They're going to do what they're going to do. I don't know.
Do you think it's credible, the reports that they're going to create settlements in Argentina?
No, that was totally fake. I spent probably half an hour looking into that because I saw this thing where, for people who don't know, there was this rumor started going around where the Argentinian government was going to start an Israeli settlement in like Patagonia, and they reference these like internal documents. If you try and find these internal documents, you cannot because they don't exist. It was totally fake. The best thing I could figure was that it originated from some like random Facebook post, and then it just kind of like took off. But it's just total fabrication.
Yeah, I feel like it started with the wildfires being pinned on the Israeli tourists.
That's probably why.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
Because Mossad is devious, as well as the CIA. But the fires aren't confirmed to be associated with Israel or Israelis.
Last I checked, I thought it was just an Israeli guy who like dropped a cigarette. Obviously, people are like, well, no, that's obviously not what happened. But I still do think that the official narrative is that it was an Israeli. But then people are like, well, it wasn't like guy for the Israeli government. It was just a guy on vacation, and you know what, that could go either way. I haven't made up my mind on that, but this 300,000 Israelis and they're building an Israeli colony in Argentina is total fake news. Unless I'm totally open to this being real if someone can provide it, but I spent some time trying to get to the bottom of this because I saw a bunch of people retweeting it on Twitter, and I could not find anything that corroborated this in any way.
And what's your sense on this conflict in Iran? Which way do you think it's going to go? Which way do you think it's going to go?
Cole says it's going to be years.
Pull out.
I think this will be. We're a month and a week into this. I still think this will be wrapped up in the next couple weeks, but I definitely could be wrong on this. This is not my wheelhouse to predict massive.
Yeah, maybe
the length of massive geopolitical conflicts. So I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see if they can get Vance in there to negotiate the peace deal of the century and put him up on the stage for 2028.
I mean,
We'll see.
the fact that the oil, like the outdated or like long dated oil prices are not that high makes me think most people with money, like the people whose job this is, think this will be wrapped up. And again, this can't be going on into the midterms. There's no fucking way that this can still be happening going into the midterms. Impossible. That would be one of the greatest strategic errors. Like, unless I'm missing something, that doesn't seem like that would go well for the Republicans. If we're 5 months from now and we're like, yeah, just next week, it's going to be over next week.
I mean, unless the Uniparty is planning a Democrat win in 2028.
Maybe. I mean, yeah,
maybe.
It's possible. But I mean, in terms of Trump's agenda specifically, there's a lot of the stuff that he's doing, regardless of the Uniparty stuff. There's a lot of stuff that he wants to do where, like, that is going to get shut down. All the ICE stuff, like, it's going to be pure gridlock.
It's already over. The ICE stuff is over.
I don't know if it is. I think it's just our attention is on a new thing. So that, and they did obviously, they left certain cities and they were doing those like big pushes into big cities. But I think they're still kind of just doing their thing. It's just they're not making the news.
I think they hyped the scale of it early on to be mass deportations, and people took that to mean hundreds of thousands, if not millions, and now it's maybe tens of thousands, Yeah,
so I mean, your best case scenario, you're going to get a few 100,000 a year out of, like, I don't know, 20, 50 million people here illegally. Like, nothing. Just get rid of get rid of the rapists and the murderers. Like, for the most part, most people don't have a problem with that. But to the notion that you're just getting rid of them all, it was never possible. It's not possible. It's not going to happen.
I guess we all got to just move to Japan then, man.
Yeah, man. All right, I got to let you go.
Have a good one.
Man. All right. All right, I'm going to take one last call and then wrap this up, just because this note that Gerard left for me interested me. If I didn't get to you, I apologize. But we're already over time. Is he not unmuting himself? Oh, here. What just happened? All right. Well, that's not working. Let's see if I'm missing anything in the live chat here. No. All right. Well, that's not working. Who do we go with here? Got three options. We have three. Do I go with the two regulars or the name I don't know? We're going to go with the name I don't know. I like listening to new people. I apologize to the regs. Or the dregs, if you will. Hello, Zach.
Danny, how are you?
How's it going? You were the last call of the night. What's up?
Thank you for taking call. Can we talk about aliens real quick? That's the whole thing of the show.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So the idea that there are some sort of biological remains or entities that have been merged with humans. They've been talking about Alex Jones.
They're fucking breeding them. Migrants.
Alien human hybrids.
Yeah.
They got them. I've seen it. So, that idea is kind of predicated on the idea that we're dealing with a biological thing. Like, you and I are physical, we have cells and stuff.
Sure.
What I thought was interesting with Tucker Carlson talking about how he was looking into the UFO thing and that they were essentially demons.
Yeah.
And that's when he stopped into it. Are you familiar with the show Babylon 5?
Babylon 5, like the sci-fi show from like the 90s?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that show.
So, in that show, there are beings of light, the Vorlon, and then there are the bad guys, the Shadows. And the whole show, the idea is that humans and a few other races are basically pawns in a proxy battle between these two forces of darkness and light. So, I mean, imagine if, like, they're really the feds or whoever are in touch with entities, but they're not biological and they're not from another planet in the sense that they are maybe from another plane of existence. And if you were to behold them, they would be a fearful, terrifying sight, like Old Testament style.
Sure.
I'm looking at like a void or a light of complete purity. The Bible even says, demons can appear as, fallen angels. And what these aliens offer is knowledge, right? Like, and that was what tempted Adam and Eve in the garden. That's what they got by taking the apple. And that maybe it doesn't really matter if they're fallen angel entities that are now trying to corrupt humanity with information and understanding, or if they are other dimensional beings that have maybe been influencing humanity as we've been going along, maybe even modifying our DNA. Like they turn monkeys, they like mix their DNA with some monkeys, and now you have tool using apes that can set off nuclear weapons. Like, so, like whatever the truth, there's, it's something truly alien, not in our like science fiction Star Trek sense of an alien, who has bones in his forehead like a Klingon, but like something from another.
Yeah, like the DNA, we don't even know what it is. Like they probably look at it.
Yeah, and the things that you encounter when you consume DMT, you hear routinely people recounting the clockwork elves, and then seeing spaceships and stuff like that, are undergoing experiences where they encounter these entities. And one of the things I remember Alex Jones talking about was they have would amount to people being recruited thinking they're going to be astronauts in a secret space program, then being put into sensory deprivation tanks and being given high dose DMT, going and communicating with entities in another realm, coming back and drawing schematics that they were shown, and then the things that they build working. Like whatever the truth is, it's probably something that doesn't really lend itself to a simple cut and dry press conference type of explanation.
Sure.
Yet they're teasing that they're about to, like, you guys, you ready? Be ready for this. Meanwhile, the world's falling apart and it's going to turn into Road Warrior, people fighting over like a gallon of gas.
I mean, Matt Gaetz seemed pretty specific about what they were doing. Tim Burchett didn't really corroborate it in the sense that he wasn't like, he's like, I can't talk about it. I'm currently in Congress. But Matt Gaetz was like, they're breeding non-biologic, what was the term? Non-human biologics and hybrid.
Human alien chimeras, Danny.
Chimeras,
they got them. They're out in the desert. I think it's really interesting that now they've been trying to get people into this idea for a long time. But I've talked previously when I called in about the patents that Salvatore Pais did for the U.S. Navy, and how those things he described kind of align with what Bob Lazar described, seeing at S4. And, at some point, this technology, if it does exist, it's going to be used for commercial purposes, because that's how everything goes. The cell phone cameras we have were the original digital cameras that were in spy satellites, so they didn't have to get the fucking film back, because that was such a pain in the neck. So where this is going, like, if this is real true, though, that like this level of technology, what Elon is doing with SpaceX is like children's toys. You don't need rockets. And I know we need to wrap it up, but the technology that Elon is introducing, the global internet, high speed, and also these brain implants, if part of joining the Galactic Federation was you can't not have a global hive mind, what are you, crazy? Like, here's some stuff, here's some papers, read it over. And if you think of the first gen, Neuralink is going to be like the first gen iPhone. By the time you get to the Neuralink 17, you're going to be in a fully immersive, like essentially the Matrix. Basically. And at that point, people are going to be living in tubes, eating the bugs, and it will be great. Like that is what we're explicitly saying the future holds for us. So what happens between now and when, the Matrix and the, personal bubbles of space-time occur? And I think it's going to involve some major catalyzing event, a new 9/11. They got it cooked up, Danny.
I mean,
so
they always said it. Alex Jones always said it. He goes, "That's the best thing to get everybody on board with the same thing is if we get just attacked by aliens."
Or they're
like
going to simulate Jesus coming back. Yeah, I mean, but it's this will occur and then be used to speed everything else up. Like they use COVID to catalyze all of these different changes that were already in the works. And I know you got to wrap up the show. Can I plug something real quick?
Yes, please go ahead.
I have an ebook on Amazon. It's called "I Fucked an Alien," and it's part of my breeding program that I started. I just need to find an actual alien to make it real, but that's how I got for
you. You actually have the ebook? No.
No, I'm just.
Oh, I was gonna say because I was like, I saw that in my Twitter feed, like the meme, and I was like, that was you.
That is definitely an ebook. Whoever wrote "I Fucked an Alien" should be
Yeah, I know it's an ebook because I've seen it going around. I was like, you wrote that?
I wish I was.
I got excited, dude. I like perked up in my chair. I was like, no way. Can't believe you wrote that.
The author and award-winning bestseller "I Fucked an Alien." Anyway, I love the show and thank you for picking the history, dude. Have a wonderful evening.
Sounds good. Later. Damn, disappointing. I thought I was gonna be talking to the author of "I Fucked an Alien." Guess not. All right, that's been the show, everybody. Thank you for joining me again on an all-new episode of Low Value Mail. Tomorrow night, new episode of The Bathhouse. Maybe the second last episode. We'll see. 9 p.m. We're nuking Iran at 8. Bathhouse at 9. Don't miss it. Make sure to catch me this weekend. Pittsburgh, Chicago, Detroit. If you live in any of them, you can get tickets at DannyComedy.com. Shout out to Gerard, the producer with the mostest. I didn't know something that rhymed with producer. That's it. See you guys on the other side.
On my shell rolling. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stolen. Bleep, blow up, nigga. That just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurting. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5 got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah.